people are forgetting when she moved into Swizz and them's house to work on the music with him, he was still married to his wife, living in that same house. And then she moved in while she was cool with the wife. I know so much more about you, Alicia. I paid good money for the intel I got on you. And it was worth every penny.
You will never look at Alicia Keys the same way again after hearing this wild info. So, what's the tea?
You never hear nothing bad about Alicia Keys.
Yeah, you do. Y'all just don't hear nothing about it.
The rumor is that she had a close, intimate relationship with two industry heavyweights that helped boost her career, Jay-Z and Clive Davis.
Please welcome the incredibly special Alicia Keys.
Hi.
Can you describe how Jay-Z approached you?
Could this be true? Could Alicia's come up have really been from something else apart from her talent? Now, when you consider other controversies like the accusation that she was the reason behind Swizz Beatz' divorce.
No, not around with Swizz and not breaking up happy homes.
As well as rumors of drug use, things begin to look not so pretty for Alicia. So, is she really that bad? Let's dive in. Their professional relationship began with Empire State of Mind. Jay-Z's biggest chart moment was the one with Alicia Keys, where they basically wrote a love letter to New York, and the world couldn't get enough. The track took over everything. It stayed stuck at the top of the charts for weeks, and finally gave Jay that #1 hit he hadn't snatched as a lead artist.
Tell by my attitude that I'm most definitely from.
People blasted it everywhere, from award shows to baseball stadiums. And yeah, that Lil Mama pop-up on stage, still unforgettable. The song didn't just dominate ears, it cleaned up at award shows too, and sold like crazy. Multi-platinum status kind of crazy. And Alicia wasn't done either. She dropped her own stripped-back version, and that took off too, going platinum on its own. Basically, they both turned a city anthem into a global flex.
I think 1 billion. Whoa. A lot of zeros. We're only responsible for like 10 million.
Yes, exactly.
It's my favorite part of coming out of Hell's Kitchen. You come out of Hell's Kitchen, you get in your car, you walk down the street, and you're
there. It is.
Empire.
Let's go.
Turns out that massive NYC anthem almost didn't exist. Alicia Keys later spilled that the whole thing barely came together. Jay had this whole vision in his head. Big city energy, skyline level kind of record. But getting Alicia on board was way more complicated than it should have been. Between music industry middlemen and clashing calendars, he couldn't even talk to her directly. At one point, he was ready to tap out and give the song to someone else. And that someone else? Mary J. Blige. Yep, it was this close to being her on the hook. The song had already been written by Angela Hunte and Janet Sewell-Ulepik before Jay even laid down his verses. And when things got messy trying to lock in Alicia, Mary was seriously in the running. But once the wires finally connected and Alicia joined the mix, the whole thing flipped. Except, even then, it wasn't smooth. She ended up recording her part while stuck in LA and under the weather. Jay listened to it and basically said, nope, not it.
I thought it worked. I thought it sounded good, but he called me and he was like, you think you're gonna be able to do them vocals again? And I was like, what? What's wrong with my vocals? My vocals are fresh.
He wanted it to feel like home. So Alicia packed up, flew back to NYC, and gave it another go. That second take, that's the version the world couldn't stop playing.
He had his request, so I went back in. I did it in New York. I was feeling better. The
And you was in New York.
Right. Can't do a New York record in LA. That's just like,
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
this is like wrong.
Here's where things got a little messy. Even though the backstory's been out there for ages, the internet kept throwing out rumors that Alicia got extra friendly with Jay-Z while working on the track. Some folks were convinced that their whole connection wasn't just musical, that maybe Alicia played it smart and got close to Jay to level up in the pop world. The internet ate it up back then, and recently it started making the rounds again, thanks to some vague comments from people who love stirring the pot. But let's not get it twisted. There's never been any actual proof. No facts, no receipts, nothing concrete, just random guesses and messy takes. Both of them had already talked about how the collab came together, and it was way more behind-the-scenes hustle than anything dramatic. Honestly, it just showed how fast people will turn a studio session into a soap opera. All it takes is a bit of chemistry on camera, and suddenly folks are reading way too deep into side-eyes and song lyrics. Happens all the time, especially when a woman's involved. People love to downplay talent and toss out lazy stories instead. Like, Alicia wasn't already a trained musician, Grammy winner, and one of the most respected names in music. But sure, go ahead and try to pin her biggest moment on a crush theory. Yeah, the rumors floated around, but that's all they were, just recycled noise with nothing to stand on. What really happened? Two artists linked up, locked in, and made a song that still gives people chills. End of story. And that's the story until we see some receipts.
Never hear nothing bad about Alicia Keys.
Yeah, you do.
What do you
Y'all just don't hear nothing about it.
Jaguar Wright went off on Alicia Keys and didn't hold anything back, like, at all. But she does that a lot. She hopped on live one time and basically torched Alicia's whole public image, dragging her into a messy web of cheating claims, industry drama, and old beef that's clearly been simmering for years. Wright said Alicia wasn't just dating Swizz Beatz. She straight up accused her of snatching him while he was still married.
No. Not around with Swizz and not breaking up happy homes.
According to her, Alicia had a habit of sliding into other women's relationships and leaving chaos behind. She painted a picture of Swizz's ex-wife welcoming Alicia like a guest, not knowing she was allegedly eyeing the husband the whole time.
Like, people are forgetting when she moved into Swizz and them's house to work on the music with him, he was still married to his wife, living in that same house. And then she moved in while she was cool with the wife.
Then she brought up this dude, Antonio Gordon, saying both of them were involved with him at different points. Wright claimed Alicia did him dirty, left him all emotionally wrecked, and when he tried to pull off a sweet surprise visit, he ended up catching her in bed with someone else. Yikes.
Run around stealing people's husbands. That woman invited you up in her house thinking that you was an artist and you was coming there to steal her husband, Alicia Keys. You goofy.
But she didn't stop at just the relationship drama. Wright claimed it went deeper, that Alicia's moves were backed by none other than Clive Davis. She said Clive pressured Alicia to mess with her and allegedly used career threats to push it through. It sounded like a full-on revenge mission dressed up in major label politics.
I know so much more about you, Alicia. I paid good money for the intel I got on you. And it was worth every penny.
Wright didn't just keep it about the industry either. She came for Alicia's image, saying she played up this perfect persona to stay likable while hiding who she really was. According to her, Alicia used high-profile relationships as a distraction and built a brand off of being someone she wasn't. She even dragged her looks into it, calling out a night at BB King's where she said Alicia caught heat for her skin and got challenged to a fight. Wright claimed Alicia never responded because she knew she couldn't win unless it was behind a keyboard. And just when people thought she might be done, she dropped one more bomb, admitting she blocked Alicia's Grammy chances out of spite and helped boost someone else instead. Straight up confession style. The whole rant sent shockwaves through fans and blogs alike, raising a bunch of messy questions about what's real and what's performative when it comes to Alicia's legacy. Whether people believed every word or not, Wright definitely knew how to cause a stir. So now, everybody knows that it doesn't take that long using the internet to know people will back all sorts of theories, like Alicia's no makeup stance.
And you're looking gorgeous. I mean, part of that is it's internal, but it's external too. You've just kind of started a movement here.
Back when Alicia Keys decided to ditch makeup, people lost their minds. She showed up to big events like award shows barefaced, all in on this mission to stop hiding behind glam and just exist as is. She'd written this open letter talking about how tired she was of always covering up and how she wanted to feel free, not just for herself, but for other women too.
How does it feel though, inside?
Really empowering, actually, really freeing.
She really stuck with it. Red carpets, TV, interviews, no foundation, no lashes, no highlighter, just her. The whole thing sparked a huge convo online about beauty standards and how much pressure women are under to look a certain way. But of course, the internet being the internet, it didn't take long before people started picking it apart. Some folks swore she was still getting help from makeup artists, just in low-key ways. Like, yeah, she wasn't rocking a full beat, but they said she used tricks like ice facials, skincare routines, and glowy products to make it look effortless. The crowd got even louder after one award show where people thought she looked too good to not have something on. Basically, she got dragged for not wearing makeup. And also for maybe kind of still wearing it.
We put so many limitations on ourselves. I think we put limitations on each other. Society puts limitations on us, and in a lot of ways, I'm sick of it. I'm over it, to be honest.
Through it all, she didn't flip out or clap back with some dramatic statement. She just kept doing her thing. Her husband had her back too, telling people to chill and let women do what they want with their own faces. Alicia also made it super clear that this wasn't about hating on makeup, just about giving yourself the option to show up how you want to.
I love my lip gloss, I love my blush, I love my eyeliner. It's like not about that. At the same time, I don't want to feel beholden to
You're not
have
swearing
to
it off
do it.
forever. You're just not in the mood right now.
And I just want to be, honest to myself.
But Twitter stayed chaotic. Some users were straight up rude, calling her look-washed or saying the whole no makeup thing was fake woke. Others were mad that she even made it a topic at all. But at the same time, tons of people were hyping her up for being confident enough to roll through glam-free in an industry that's built on appearances. Oh, and there's more. With fans, you can't do anything right. Hypocritical stance on Saudi Arabia.
Alicia, we at Freedom First are your biggest fans. We wanted to ask you to stand with us for the freedom of some bad women's rights activists in Saudi Arabia.
Whether it was through her songs, Insta posts, or those women-to-women meetups she kept doing, she was all about hyping up creativity and confidence. And when she dropped that post telling women to delete words like can't and won't from their brains, people were nodding along like, yep, classic Alicia. But then, things got messy. One of her summits wasn't happening in New York, Louisiana, or anywhere people expected. It was in Saudi Arabia, and not just randomly in Saudi, but lined up with the Formula One race, with sponsors and partners that included her husband, Swizz Beatz' agency, and a flashy entertainment brand. She said she was excited to be there, perform for the first time in the region, and connect with women doing dope things creatively. Sounds cool, right? Not to everyone. Activists weren't having it. They slammed her and Pharrell, who was also set to perform, for showing up at an event they said was just the Saudi government trying to look good on the world stage. Critics called it a distraction from real issues, like the way women and LGBTQ+ folks are still being treated over there. One activist even accused them of helping sugarcoat a system that throws people in jail for speaking up or just existing freely. And yeah, they brought up everything, from the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi to the women still locked up for pushing back against the rules. To them, Alicia wasn't just performing. She was helping the government with a rebrand. Every time she talked about cultural exchange and wanting to learn and connect. But critics weren't buying it. They saw it as more celeb glitz than real progress. So even though she probably thought she was spreading good energy and championing global sisterhood, it all turned into a bigger convo. Like, where's the line between trying to make change and just being part of the show? And can you really celebrate women's strength in a place where women's rights are still under serious fire? The intention might have been one thing, but the backlash was loud. Oh, she's also been accused of exploiting Black Lives Matter.
This is not the time to shut down the diversity of voices.
Alicia Keys had always spoken up when it came to race and justice. She posted, she marched, she showed up. But not everyone was clapping for it. Some people were side-eyeing her, saying it all felt too polished, like it was more about the look than the work. To them, her support during the height of the BLM movement came off like a photo op. The signs were there, but the follow-through? Not everyone was convinced.
We've seen on this stage talented, hardworking people from different backgrounds with different points of view, and it changes the game. DEI is not a threat, it's a gift.
But when you actually looked at what she did, the receipts were kind of loud. She wasn't just tweeting slogans and calling it a day. She helped kick off a $1 billion fund meant to pour money into Black-owned businesses, schools, and banks. She spoke up about police violence, including Breonna Taylor's case, and even used her time at big events, like the NFL opener, to talk directly about racism. Her game plan wasn't about always being front and center. It was about making moves that could last.
This is the most major pandemic of all. You know, this deeply rooted racism, this police brutality, this treatment of Black people that is just completely unacceptable, to the point where daily we're seeing, lives lost.
Still, her activism stirred up deeper convos, especially when it came to colorism. Because Alicia's a biracial woman with light skin and soft features, she ended up being part of a bigger conversation about how the world treats lighter-skinned Black women versus darker-skinned ones. People weren't necessarily coming for her, but her presence always sparked those debates. Stuff like who gets brand deals, who gets praised for speaking out, and who gets overlooked entirely. With a white mom and a Black dad, Alicia landed in the middle of those cultural discussions. She didn't ask for the extra attention, but she got it anyway. Some folks pointed out that mainstream media and big brands have always made it easier for lighter-skinned Black women to shine. And that definitely influenced how her activism was received. More applause, less pushback. Not because she said or did the wrong thing, but because that's just how the system's been wired. She still used her moment, though. Even when the NFL was under fire for the way they treated Kaepernick. She made the call to perform after a lot of back and forth. And she didn't just sing and bounce. She used that moment to announce that massive fund for Black-owned institutions, with the NFL even throwing money in. Her goal wasn't some quick fix. It was about building something that could shift the whole economy for Black communities over time. All of that, the speech, the fund, the performance, was her way of saying she was in this for real. It wasn't about spotlight moments. It was about strategy. She wanted to push companies to do better and stay loud about inequality. She gave props to people like Kaepernick, but also made it clear that her path was about getting things done, not just making statements. At the end of the day, Alicia's work didn't fit into a neat box. She wasn't always out protesting, but she wasn't just doing PR either.
Alicia Keys went live Wednesday with a powerful PSA calling for radical transformation in racial justice. Keys collaborated her We Are Here movement along with other artists, including Beyonce, Rihanna, and Pharrell Williams, for the site Mic.com.
She was behind the scenes, building things that could actually shift power. And yeah, people are still going to bring up colorism, privilege, and who gets what kind of platform. But one thing's clear, she wasn't just talking, she was investing. And that kind of impact, it speaks for itself. Oh, and she's also been accused of being too perfect.
And you're looking gorgeous. I mean, part of that it's internal, but it's external too. You've kind of started a movement here.
Celebs stepping into activist mode always got people talking, and Alicia was no different. She'd been all about equality, women's rights, mental health, poverty. You name it, she had a message. She even ditched makeup for a while to push the whole self-love thing. A lot of folks loved it, but not everyone was buying what she was selling. Some thought the whole thing felt a little too polished, like Yeah, the causes were important, but it was hard to ignore the fact that she was saying all this from a massive mansion while glammed up for events. Her day-to-day didn't exactly scream struggling with the system, and that disconnect rubbed people the wrong way. It wasn't that they thought she didn't care. It just felt like she was showing up with perfect lighting and a flawless outfit while talking about issues that were messy and raw. The whole look made it tough for some people to actually relate to what she was saying. Her life seemed like a Pinterest board, while the things she was speaking on were real-life chaos. Things got extra side-eye when Alicia kicked off stuff like her nonprofit that aimed to help kids and families dealing with HIV/AIDS. Nobody questioned the cause, it was solid. But some folks couldn't ignore the fact that she was making those moves while chilling in designer everything and flying private. People started asking if she really got what these families were going through. Like, how deep can your empathy run when your version of struggle involves being overbooked or missing a spa day? That's always the gripe when celebs jump into advocacy mode. It's easy to want change when you're already living the dream. The whole thing had people wondering if it was passion or just another PR moment wrapped in charity. Nobody's saying Alicia didn't leave a mark. She did. But for a lot of people, she just felt a little too flawless. That whole polished, glowy, everything's inspirational energy kinda made it hard for some fans to really feel like she was in touch with what real life actually looked like. To them, she lived so far up in the clouds of celebrity life that it was hard to believe she could fully grasp what struggling actually felt like. She preached about the tough stuff, sure, but from a distance, like she was narrating it, not living it. It wasn't about her not caring. It's just that some people couldn't see themselves in her. For Alicia, it's always been about using her platform to spark change, whether through her music or her actions. She's used her fame to lift up the causes she cares about. But let's be real. Balancing between being admired and staying true to herself hasn't been a walk in the park. Sure, there were always critics wondering if she was really connecting with the issues. But the thing is, Alicia kept pushing for what she believed in, no matter how messy or perfect it looked. And even if some people saw her as a little too polished, she didn't let that stop her. Flaws and all, she owned her journey. And for a lot of her fans, that's what made her real. Now let's talk about the career Alicia has as an artist. Alicia Keys kicked off her career with a bang back in the day, dropping her debut album, Songs in a Minor. It was a mix of classical piano, soul, R&B, and jazz, and it hit different. People couldn't get enough. The album sold millions, and Alicia racked up 5 Grammys, including Best New Artist and Song of the Year for Fallen, which became an instant classic. After that, The Diary of Alicia Keys came in hot, with tracks like You Don't Know My Name, and If I Ain't Got You, which pretty much took over the airwaves. The album blended R&B with some hip-hop, proving Alicia was here to stay in the game. Then came As I Am, which pushed her sound even further, throwing in rock and pop influences, and No One became a massive anthem. Alicia proved she wasn't just a one-hit wonder, but someone who could adapt and still keep it real. In 2012, she dropped Girl on Fire, and the title track was an instant power anthem for anyone trying to feel themselves. She leaned more into pop and electronic sounds, but still managed to keep that Alicia depth and emotion. People still loved her, even with the new direction. Alicia wasn't done experimenting, though. Here in 2016 showed another side of her, deep, real, and talking about social justice and personal growth. In Common got a lot of love, and fans loved how she stripped things back to more natural production.
We got way too much in common.
By 2020, she was back with Alicia with hits like Underdog.
So I sing a song for the hustlers trading at the bus stop. Sing
and So Done. Blending different genres, but still staying true to her soulful roots. With 65 million records sold, Alicia is one of the best-selling artists ever. 15 Grammys, 17 Billboard Music Awards, and a ton of other trophies. Yeah, she's got those too. But it's not just about the music. Alicia's been out here fighting for racial equality, women's rights, and social justice. Her #No Makeup movement in 2016 shook up the beauty world, starting conversations about self-love and ditching the pressures of society. From dominating the charts to sparking important cultural shifts, Alicia's legacy isn't just about hitting the high notes. It's about using her platform for real change. She didn't just inspire with her music, she reshaped conversations around beauty, identity, and activism. And that's why she'll always be more than just a pop star. She's an icon, and she's still out here making waves.